Good morning and welcome. January 22nd, 2026, Board of Directors meeting, SLDC. Happy New Year to everybody. Seems like a long time ago that we were celebrating that. Ladies, may I please have a call to order roll call?
Sure. Director Arnold. Alderwoman Clark Hubbard.
Here.
Director Gilbert.
Here.
Director Koenig.
Present.
Director McBride. Alderwoman Sonia.
Present.
Director Spencer.
Present.
Director Young.
Present.
And Chair Halls.
Here. Thank you very much. May I please have a motion to approve the minutes of December 18th, 2025 regular board meeting?
I'll move. I second.
Alderwoman Clark Hubbard.
Aye.
Director Gilbert.
Aye.
Director Koenig.
Aye.
Alderwoman Sonia.
Aye.
Director Spencer.
Aye.
Director Young.
Aye.
And Chair Halls.
Aye. Thank you, Laura.
You're welcome.
Resolution 26 SLDC 1056, authorizing revised agreement with Build Missouri Health to serve as a fiscal sponsor in support of Green City Coalition. Mike?
Good morning. Thank you for the opportunity to present this resolution. My name is Mike Ziegler. I'm the director of the Green City Coalition. It's a pretty straightforward resolution, but I do want to take a brief moment to give some background on the GCC. The Green City Coalition is a special project of SLDC that focuses on converting vacant LRA lots and underutilized park space into community green spaces that enhance native landscaping. The GCC is not a standalone nonprofit. Instead, it's a cooperative agreement between four entities: the SLDC, the Missouri Department of Conservation, MSD, and the City of St. Louis. When we do the work of converting vacant lots, we do it for fourfold reasons. The first is to address vacancy by converting, to transform neighborhoods by addressing vacancy. The second is to promote equitable access to nature. The third is to enhance biodiversity. And the fourth is to promote climate resilience, especially in relation to flood risk and heat island impact. So what this looks like in practice: in the Wells Goodfellow neighborhood, we worked with the residents to identify 23 vacant buildings that are in high flood risk areas, demolish those buildings, and convert them into 6 acres of pocket prairies with mowed pathways, signage, and benches, as well as a community orchard. And in the College Hill neighborhood, we spent a lot of time working with community partners and residents to develop Peace Park, which is a block of vacant land that is now a neighborhood park for the College Hill neighborhood. So those are just 2 projects across the 71 acres of land that we manage through the GCC. So thank you. As I said, the resolution is relatively straightforward. Because the GCC is not a standalone nonprofit, we do need a relationship with a fiscal sponsor in order to accept grant funds and redistribute those for mission-aligned projects. Specifically, this resolution seeks authorization for SLDC to renew its existing fiscal sponsor agreement with Build Missouri Health. We've been working with BMH since 2022 when we initiated this agreement, have renewed it annually since, and really enjoyed working with them. And so this seeks for another renewal for the 2026 year. Thank you for your time and attention, and I'm open to any questions if you have any. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Any questions? Okay. I'd like to entertain a motion to approve Resolution 26. So move.
Second.
Alderwoman Clark Hubbard.
Aye.
Director Gilbert.
Aye.
Director Koenig.
Aye.
Alderwoman Sonia.
Aye.
Director Spencer.
Aye.
Director Young.
Aye.
And Chair Halls.
Aye. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks, Mike.
Madam Chair, may I ask a question?
Pardon?
May I ask a question? Yeah, I thank you, Madam Chair. I meant to try to do this before we got started, but I'm sorry, not for you, Mike. Thank you. You know how much I how much I support the work that you all do. It's nothing for you, I promise. But I meant to try to do this before we went on with a regular order of business, which I recognize is hard for some people in this room. And so I wanted to ask if we can have a moment of silence for Miss Stacy Fowler, and if Otis wanted to offer any reflection on that as well.
Sure. Well, before the moment of silence, just let me say this. We did intend to, in fact, you see it popped up, Dion here. We wanted to be sure to honor Stacy because Stacy was such an important person to our organization and to the city. One of the things that, if you knew Stacy, she was always bubbly and she would brighten up a room by just being there. And the energy, the passion, the dedication that she had for the underserved here in the city of St. Louis was just unmatched. And so we will miss her. We are, we feel real sad that, she's no longer with us, but we just need to carry on the work that she was always, champion for. And so just a moment of silence here for her. And thank you all.
Thank you, Director Williams. At this time, Stephanie Greasy, Resolution 26, SLDC 1057, authorizing execution of a grant agreement with the St. Louis Community Foundation and authorizing execution of a second amendment to the professional services agreement with Mission Driven Finance.
Great. Thank you so much, everyone, for having me here this morning. I'm actually going to be presenting two resolutions, speaking to our ongoing relationship with the St. Louis Community Foundation to advance the Economic Development and Transformation Fund. Again, this first item is Resolution 26, SLDC 1057. As a reminder, SLDC launched the Economic Justice Accelerator over 3 years ago to attract and leverage public, private, and philanthropic capital to the city of St. Louis. The capital is invested in catalytic projects in strategic neighborhoods, programs targeted to create economic mobility, and products to provide access to capital for all to thrive. These dollars are aggregated in the Economic Development and Transformation Fund, which is established and held by the St. Louis Community Foundation. One project that SLDC and the Foundation have managed together is the development of investment funds to advance the Transformation Fund's goals. Mission-driven finance was previously selected to research, design, and finalize a model to establish those funds. Under board action taken in July of 2024, SLDC entered into a grant agreement with the foundation and a professional services agreement with Mission-driven finance, each in an amount not to exceed $50,000 to undertake that work. Then in February of 2025, the board authorized the expansion of our work with MDF through an additional grant agreement with the foundation and an amended professional services agreement, this time not to exceed $150,000. In both cases, the grant from the foundation funded the engagement of mission-driven finance. So today we're asking for your approval for one more amendment and extension to allow us to complete phase 2 for $9,000. The most important element of phase 2 is the development of the Housing Guarantee Fund, which is a for-sale housing development model that leverages our New Markets tax credit allocation, available LRA parcels, traditional construction debt, Habitat for Humanity's home buying and home ownership program, and a privately funded loan loss guarantee, all to build affordable homes in North St. Louis. The Housing Guarantee Fund pilot has confirmed all of its funding sources, and we're working to close by March of 2026. The targeted development area is south of MLK along Evans and north of MLK along Aldine Avenue. We're excited about this model as it can be leveraged with other developers and can be replicated and scaled in other areas across the city. Mission-driven finance has been a key partner in designing the fund and working with the funding partners to finalize that capital stack. And the dollars here, this $9,000 would be used to support their consulting services through closing. Attachment A to the resolution includes the scope of services that would be included in the agreement with MDF. The last three items are the new items that just capture this extension of time through March. With that, I'll pause, see if there are any questions. Great, thank you.
Well, if there aren't any questions, I just comment that this has not been an easy one. It's a heavy lift to try and cobble together all of the components of this capital stack and all of the support that is needed. And wanted to commend Stephanie Greasy for championing this and being our point of contact with all of the people that are included in this project. And it is, in fact, a model that we could scale in the areas. And so what we are working to do is to try and bring together all kinds of funding vehicles to be able to provide housing and support development in North St. Louis. And if it works correctly, as we think it will, it could be used anywhere in the city.
It's marvelous. Thank you so much, Stephanie. Thanks for your work on this. Does anybody have any further questions? Okay, at this time, I'd like to entertain a motion to approve both Resolution 26 SLDC 1057 and SLDC 1058.
Well, can I pause? Sorry, I didn't actually speak to 1058. I'm happy
I
to have you all
apologize.
approve it.
All
Yeah,
right.
no, I just got
Well-
through them first. That's okay. However you want to
Okay.
do it, but
I'm going to proceed with 1057.
thank you.
Thank you.
So moved.
Second.
Alderwoman Clark Hubbard,
Aye.
Director Gilbert,
Aye.
Director Koenig,
Aye.
Alderwoman Sonja,
Aye.
Director Spencer,
Aye.
Director Young, and Chair Halls.
Aye. Thank you. Stephanie?
Yeah, great. Thank you so much again for your time. The second resolution is Resolution 26 SLDC 1058, authorizing the execution of an agreement with the St. Louis Community Foundation to further advance the Economic Justice Action Plan and the Economic Development and Transformation Fund by engaging Accelerator for America. The contract request here is for an amount up to $37,500 funded from SLDC general revenues. As I was just sharing with you all, SLDC and the foundation have worked together on several different projects to advance the Economic Justice Action Plan and the Economic Development and Transformation Fund held at the foundation. Another key partner we've worked with has been Accelerator for America. They're a national nonprofit organization that provides local leaders with technical assistance, data tools, and strategic networks necessary to drive economic mobility and community wealth building. Their area of expertise is in developing innovative solutions for infrastructure, affordable housing, and workforce development. Accelerator for America has been an integral partner for our progress made on this housing guarantee fund as well that we just discussed. This resolution seeks approval to execute an agreement with the foundation to provide funding for their engagement of Accelerator for America. And under that engagement, they would provide ongoing professional services to support our shared economic justice and economic mobility work. The agreement would run from January this month through the end of June, and again would be for an amount on our end of $37,500. The scope of Accelerator for America's work is described in attachment A to the resolution. Just wanted to highlight a couple of things. Again, we're excited to continue working with them to close the Housing Guarantee Fund. They have really been a meaningful and valuable partner there. We're also working with Accelerator for America on some grant opportunities. Some have been secured and some we're pursuing, so that's been exciting. And we'll continue to stay connected to the organization to take advantage of peer learning opportunities and strategic connections with national leaders in their network who are implementing similar housing and economic development strategies. So with that, again, I'll take any other questions. Otherwise, I appreciate your consideration of this resolution.
Thank you, Stephanie. Any questions?
I've got a couple of questions. We've had a lot of small amendments over the years for both these programs with MDF and the affordable, the AFA. Is there a cumulative spend that we can be transparent about what we spent over the last couple of years? And then maybe you could look into the future and, the housing guarantee loan pool is obviously the main priority, but there's all, as you mentioned, other components to their work. Do you see us moving past that June, or I think this extension ends in June? Do you see us going further with Accelerator for America?
Yep. So if I can keep track of the questions, we got Thursday brain. On the question about funding NDF, that is 209,000 in aggregate, all funded through the foundation. So not actual financial exposure for SLDC, but that is the amount that we are going to spend with NDF through March of this year. To the extent we want to engage them further on fund management or fund development services, there would be a new kind of selection process, new contracting process to start over. They've been a great partner, and there are also other parties that either are more familiar with the St. Louis market or maybe have different ideas about how to pursue this. So we would look at that with fresh eyes at that time. For the Accelerator for America relationship, this is actually our first formal engagement, like execution of a contract to fund that relationship. So they've been a great partner for us, and that's really kind of come through the Community Foundation's connections. I think there's a lot of opportunity to continue working with them. I'm not sure if folks on the call are familiar, but they've got some really great conferences where they bring together municipal leaders from cities like ours that are trying to think progressively about how to grow and expand and attract business to their communities and provide safe and stable housing. So they're a very valuable partner. They've been very helpful so far, and I hope that we can continue in a more formal way. Hopefully that answers your question, Sean.
And just let me add to that, and to expand on the idea of their national presence and their ability to coordinate a number of key players. Our involvement with Kresge and with some of the other national foundations is through our relationship here with AFA. Mayor Spencer and I were in Nashville in October over a weekend with other mayors of cities, similar cities. So it is a networking opportunity and the contacts that they bring. I see, barring anything negative, us continuing. I would recommend we continue that relationship because of the impact that and the resources that they put us in touch with. And so they have assisted on a number of things, and I would recommend their continued involvement.
Thank you.
Any further questions or comments? Wonderful. May I please have a motion to approve Resolution 26, SLDC 1058?
So moved. Second.
Alderwoman Clark Hubbard,
Aye.
Director Gilbert,
Aye.
Director Koenig,
Aye.
Alderwoman Sonia,
Aye.
Director Spencer,
Aye.
Director Young,
Aye.
and Chair Halls.
Aye. Thank you. This time, Simon, if you would like to please present on Resolution 26, SLDC 1059, approving the expenditure of funds to upgrade the video conference equipment in the 1520 Market Street second floor boardroom where we are sitting now.
Good morning, Madam Chairwoman and members of the board. As an introduction, I'm Simon Wong. I serve as the Chief Technology Officer for St. Louis Development Corporation. And the resolution in front of you is seeking approval to expend approximately $156,000 to upgrade the audiovisual equipment in this boardroom. Most recently, we've had the failure of a key component, which requires a lot of manual processes to get the room ready, and people like Celise have to power up certain pieces of equipment in the right order. After talking to 3 separate vendors about possible ways forward, our 2 options were to just to replace the broken piece of equipment, which is the methodology we've been doing for the past few years. Whenever something would break, we would just replace it. But over time, we've had this mismatch of different pieces of equipment at different stages of their life cycle, which makes integration a lot harder. So the recommendation was we should just upgrade them all at the same time. Not all of them require an upgrade, but they're getting to end of life where soon they'll be not supported by the manufacturer. So we're looking at a comprehensive upgrade for this entire boardroom, which will improve the displays, get us away from bulb-oriented projectors to a more TV type of a display, improve the microphones in the room so we can pick up conversations when people participate in Zoom meetings. And so that's the resolution in front of you. And we've talked to 3 vendors, and I will take any questions regarding it.
I must add that the greatest improvement here would be just the microphones and being able to reconfigure our room and use microphones around the tables where people can actually hear. I'm not sure if any one of you have participated in the conference that if you aren't sitting at this podium, a dais, it's impossible to hear what else is going on in the room. And so I think that would be a great improvement for us.
Got 2 questions. One, what's the useful life of the new equipment that we're planning on putting into the space?
I think most sound equipment could last between 5 and 10 years, but things are changing so fast. I'm not sure what new features are going to come out in the next couple of years that I'm not absolutely confident because a lot of it was installed before I came along, how old the current piece of equipment are. I just know we've had
2012.
2012. So.
And I'll ask Laura's question for her. How are we paying for this?
It's coming out of SLDC funds. This room is actually shared by multiple agencies within the same building. And people higher than my pay grade are going to have some conversations with other people higher than my pay grade about possibly sharing in the funds. Yeah.
This is not grant paid for?
No.
Thank you very much. Any other questions? Thank you so much, Simon. May I please have a motion to approve Resolution 26, SLDC 1059?
I so move.
Second.
Alderwoman Clark Hubbard,
Aye.
Director Gilbert,
Aye.
Director Koenig,
Aye.
Alderwoman Sonia,
Aye.
Director Spencer,
Aye.
Director Young,
Aye.
and Chair Halls.
Aye. Thank you, Laura. Want to move into executive session?
Well, Madam Chair, if I could ask, just because we have so many staff members here this morning, if we could defer executive session until after staff presentations. I wanted to provide an opportunity for us to recap 2025. And I invited all of these folks who are responsible for various areas to just spend a moment to just say, this is how we ended the year. And so if we could defer that one and go directly into that, I would appreciate it.
I think that's a wonderful idea.
Okay. All right.
And I can introduce everybody who needs
Okay.
to come up. First, we have major projects with Rob Orr and maybe Peter as well.
Okay, and so staff, just be cognizant of time and we'll pull a plug on you. Okay, so be quick.
My preferred, I guess. So, good morning, directors. So, I'm Peter Phillips, Vice President of Land Assemblage and Redevelopment and Supervisor of the Major Projects Department at St. Louis Development Corporation. So, I have a few slides, so I don't know who's moving through them, but if we just go ahead and go to the next slide, please. So what you have before you here is just some metrics from 2025 from a couple of programs that here. This one specifically is the Land Assemblage and Redevelopment Program. And within this, there's a couple of different categories of this program, of some of the different initiatives that we try to accomplish. We have here the appraisals and due diligence component, the actual acquisitions that we accomplished, some of the stabilizations and remediations, and then the maintenance security. These are the components of the program that we try to accomplish. And then the breakdown of those within them. Now, this is again just what we accomplished within 2025. There were some previous before that as well. So within 2025, we accomplished, the expenditures of 51,000 of 13 parcels for appraisals, environmental assessments, and title work that we were for parcels that we were looking to actually acquire. Of those, we actually acquired 10 to the tune of 2.7 million. And then this includes the parcels on City Block 129, which is the surface lot and the garage across from the railway exchange. And this also led to some stabilizations and remediation work and cleanup planning on 2 different project sites, which includes underground tank removals. And then we have been doing maintenance and security work on 2 project sites as well. So this is kind of the summarization of what was accomplished during 2025. And now this is also leading up to what we plan on accomplishing in 2026, which is going to be quite a bit more. In addition to this work, we've also been doing a lot of pre-planning, which is negotiations for a lot more acquisitions, which is we have underway contracts for upwards of over $1 million for more acquisitions of properties, which is going to lead to, I think right now my estimate because it's not clear exactly, but my estimate right now is probably about 7 million-ish in more remediation, demolition, and stabilization work. It's not clear because we won't know exactly until we bid it out. So that we're working on the specifications right now. As soon as we get the closure and that we have title to the properties, we will bid the work. Then we will know exactly, and we'll contract the work, and we'll do it. So
Okay, let's go to the next slide. We gotta move.
and then I only have like one more slide. So these are some of the breakdowns of the actual projects that are in progress. We have Goodfellow. That one is awarded. That one is 3.7 million for some of the remediation and demo. Railway exchange is underway, and then the 2 schools which have been in the news as well, Cleveland High School and Marshall School. Those will be hopefully closed on soon and out for solicitation and bid very shortly. And next slide. And then another program that we work on is LRA commercial stabilization. A couple of projects of note are the former Chuck Berry House, which that stabilization is complete. So we have a picture of that in front of you. The only outstanding work on that one is there's a railing that still needs to be installed. So that other than the railing to be installed, that is complete. The structural stabilization is done. The other projects in front of you is Wilson Station, Club Imperial, and Sarah Lou. Those are going to be solicited and completed in 2026. And I think other than that, so the main point of all these projects, a whole lot of work that was done in 2024 and 2025 is the assessments, the acquisitions, and getting the bid specs ready to go. And we're going to be soliciting them and under construction and all this work in 2026 to get it all wrapped up. And I think that's about it. I don't think we're doing any questions, correct?
We aren't.
All right. I think that's it. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Next, we have
Not
Zach
unless
Wilson.
not unless the board has questions. I usurp your right. I'm sorry.
Next, we have Zach Wilson with incentives.
Good morning, Zach Wilson, the head of incentives department here at SLDC. I'll be very quick. I would be happy to come back and talk to you in greater depth. My department runs 4 boards here at SLDC. They primarily are the incentives boards, LCRA, PIEA, EZ, and TIFT Commission. I got here in about 2015. I started collecting data in 2017, and this is what is in front of you right now. We have 66 projects go in front of LCRA and pass LCRA. Last year, we had 6 and there's several other at the Board of Aldermen currently. There's a variety of reasons behind this, market conditions, things like competition from other regions, other municipalities around us. Next slide, please.
But the unsaid here is that the conditions and the climate that we have in the city, that developers aren't seeking us out. So I don't want that to go unsaid. It's not just market conditions.
I'll let others speak on that instead of me on that front. Three projects we'd like to point out that are underway are Albion West End was passed by the LCR board several years ago, but just closed on financing last year, and construction started late last year also. It's a very good project. It was a parking lot for over 50 years. It'll bring revenue to the city and taxing districts for the next 150 years. Crossroads Senior Living, some of you will be more well aware of this project than others. Battled through LIHTC competition for many years, and we also did tax abatement construction sales tax on the project. Without these incentives, projects like this do not happen. Incentives were created for cities like the city of St. Louis and to give us the level playing field. Over the years, the Creve Coeurs, West County municipalities have overused them, and the level playing field is no longer level. So we had to catch up. Another good project we were passed recently was the Millennium site, where it allowed for demolition. Next slide, please, Elise. Thank you. Another great project, Marquette Homes, scattered sites. Majority of these properties were LRA properties. It'll be 52 affordable units, large bedrooms also, many bedrooms, large scale units, I mean. Another great project is the Midas rehab of Edison Hotel. We had 71 condominium owners, very needed, very desperate of a quality developer, and might have stepped up and to renovate the hotel. It's kind of a key piece of downtown while you enter downtown from the south, and they'll be addressing the mural also. Next slide, please. The EZ board is a board that has basically grants tax abatement for projects that are expanding their business or luring business to the city of St. Louis. It has to create 2 or more jobs and has to have an investment over $100,000. We haven't seen many applications. The EZ board boundaries are along the riverfronts and along usually around train tracks. We just have not seen an uptick in applications. Next slide, please. 2 well-known projects we've done through the EZ board. Clementine's bought a property on North Broadway. Their production facility has created 30 jobs in that area. Another one, a good project, I believe, it's 100 North Broadway, which, let me give you the exact number of jobs. 285 jobs in that building currently. Not only do our numbers are low now, but we are married to these projects for the life of the incentives. So my department touches these projects till the incentive burns off on them. There's compliance numbers we have to follow. So like an example, Clementine's and 100 North Broadway will do a yearly report on jobs to our department until the incentive expires. Next slide, please. PIEA. PIEA is mostly industrial projects. We haven't done many. The one that passed in 2024 by the board did not proceed. So there's no incentive being activated, no incentives tied to the project. The project does not get built. It's not activated. Next slide, please. TIFs. Early 2000s, late 1990s, TIFs were used often. Currently have over 100 TIFs that have been passed in the city of St. Louis. They're slowly all burning off. They're a 23-year lifespan. We have realized how to use TIFs in a better and wiser way. Heavy commercial use. For residential, we'll use tax abatement and construction sales tax and tax credits like historic and LIHTC. But with the TIFs, we would like to use the Foundry as a prime example of a great TIF. Creates a parking garage that's free to the public, heavy use on the sites prep that the TIF helped pay for. We are hoping to see a couple new TIFs come to the TIF Commission this year. We had a TIF 101 class. Any of you can go online and watch that if you have desperate for sleeping. But next slide, please. Two TIFs that have been passed recently, Cortex RPA-4, that have brought C2N diagnostics to the city, high-paying jobs that will stay in the city. And Jefferson Arms here will hopefully open here in next few months. That project's been in the works for the last 10 years, and we're excited to see that happen. I think that's it, Salif. Thank you.
Next, we have Simon Wang with Digital Equity.
Good morning again. Here to talk to you about our digital equity team, which is made up of it's a small team made up of two people, Tangi Cole and Gage McAllister. And our work revolves around ensuring that everybody in St. Louis has access to the digital tools and resources so that they can participate in today's economy. Back in 2022, Board Bill 120 granted $5 million towards CDA as the main recipient, and SLDC was a sub-recipient towards digital inclusion programs. Next slide, please. The key projects that came out of this program from the SLDC side were four. One is community Wi-Fi. We've installed Wi-Fi in public places, which include 8 parks and going up to approximately 16 or 17. Depending on some estimates later on this year. Also on the MLK corridor and downtown in the Gateway Mall area between the soccer stadium and the Arch. And that was a kind of strategic placement because we're hoping to eventually get sponsors for it so we can continue to pay for the maintenance and operations of this infrastructure as the ARPA funding runs out. We've also retrofitted 4 computer labs in our recreation centers so that they're more embedded in community and offer opportunities for people to come there and use the tools. They're also staffed with a help desk person that can answer questions about technology. And we also have classes through one of our vendors, MoveWorth, in those learning labs. I talked about the community help desk. It's both in-person and virtual, staffed by NPower. And I've got some stats on the next slide about how many calls we've taken. Finally, we have a Learn to Tech program, which is an incentive-based program for completing a class attendees in qualified census tracts that are validated by the vendor with proof of residence. They qualify for a laptop and 1 year of internet service so that they can continue their learning or career exploration or maybe even switching jobs. Finally, we also have a portal for a coalition that we've been cultivating over the last few years. And for all of these efforts, I'm happy to report that for the second year in a row, we've been awarded the Visionary Digital Trailblazer, which is the highest designation by the National Digital Inclusion Alliance. So we've won this 2 years in a row, which is a recognition of all the good work that SLDC has been able to do in the digital equity space. Next slide, please. Here are some numbers of the residents that we've served. We talked about the learning labs. Since May, when all of the labs were fully staffed, those are the numbers: 3,000 visitors, 2,300 calls to the help desk. Since September is when our classes started up with MoveWorth and the portal came live. We've had over 1,000 portal visitors, 61 people attending classes, and 40 graduates from our Learn to Tech program. So I think that's the highlight. It should be my last slide. Yep. So I'll take, oh, no questions on this.
Next, we have the local development company, and Zach, since you're here, I guess you can come speak. Thank you.
Morning, everyone. I am Zach Folk. I'm with the St. Louis Economic Development Partnership, a business development officer there. We work with SLDC and the LDC to implement small business loan programs throughout the city of St. Louis. So to give you an idea of what we've been up to, here's our 2025 by the numbers. So throughout 2025, we did 4 loans totaling a little over $1 million, with 3 of those with our RLF programs, and then 1 through our SBA 504 program, which is for the purchase of owner-occupied commercial real estate, with an estimated 16 jobs created through that. We also have done the tornado recovery loan program. These were $5,000 loans towards small businesses who were affected by the tornado last year. So we had 119 applications totally received for that, with funding 46 of those loans totaling $230,000. Next slide, please. To give you a couple highlights of the kind of businesses we work with, I wanted to highlight 2 of them from last year. One of them is Elevator Spaces in St. Louis. This is a Omaha-based co-warehousing space. The couple up there is the owners, Shannon Emiliano Lerda. They started the business in Omaha and have been expanding to other areas like Kansas City and Des Moines, and now open their largest location here in St. Louis. This was a business attraction project through Greater St. Louis Inc., and we were able to use our RLF funds to help them get their business up and operated through equipment purchase and working capital, which they're estimated to have 150 spaces for businesses to grow within that. So to talk about the last slide with having an estimated 16 jobs created, that's just direct jobs, whereas this project itself with 150 spaces will hopefully be creating a lot more jobs in the city of St. Louis through the businesses that operate there. The other one that I want to highlight is H&H Metal Fabrication. They received a RLF funds to help them stabilize after some roughness during the COVID-19 pandemic, and that has expanded into them using other funds through their business. So they're a metal fabrication company just located just over on 22nd Street. They now are in the process of obtaining a 504 loan for approval. It's actually at the SBA right now, getting reviewed. So they'll be purchasing the building that they currently are residing in. And then they've also received new market tax credit funds through SLDC as part of the relationship we've had with them. So thank you. I'll keep it short. So thank you.
Next, we have James Morrow with the Industrial Development Authority.
All right, thanks, Dion. Can we go back one?
Go back
slide?
one.
All right, thanks. The formatting is a little weird on the larger screen there, but I did want to highlight some of the metrics from the IDA. The IDA doesn't get a lot of attention, but it's a very useful lending tool. Essentially, the IDA is empowered under state law to issue revenue bonds that the interest of which is exempt from income taxation. So financial institutions like banks or other financial bodies can purchase the bonds and lend the proceeds of that purchase. The IDA can pass on to incentivize private development. And the projects that we see are almost always low-income housing projects. They're usually paired with LIHTC. So over the past year, the IDA has approved the issuance of bonds for 5 projects. Of those, I put the affordable units up there. We're talking about units at 60% AMI, and 2 of the projects have units that are going to be limited to 30% AMI. All told, the IDA has helped to facilitate just over $96 million in affordable housing. And of the projects that were approved this last year, we have 373 units that are capped at 60% AMI and 10 units that are capped at 30% AMI. There's one last project down at the very bottom left there that's kind of covered by some of the bolded text. That's the Roosevelt Townhomes project. The IDA approval process is kind of a 1-2 step. So there's the first inducement that comes before the board that the board announces its intent to issue bonds, and then there's the actual approval process. So Roosevelt Townhomes has been induced, and we expect it will be finally approved and the bonds will be issued in 2026.
Now we have bills set in with new markets tax credits used online.
Good morning. On the evening of December 23rd last year, just in time for Christmas, the CDFI fund finally announced the 2024-25 round of allocation. Of the 142 chosen, SLDC fortunately was one of those, and we took home $80 million, which is our largest award to date. Since our first award in 2004, we have taken in $600+ million in allocation. We've funded 127 deals over that time period, 50 of which came out of our loan funds. And the others were one-off deals. We look to have a strong 2026. Shout out quickly to Dion Broxton, who got 4 or 5 days of great publicity for us. We have been really fielding calls from developers and businesses across the board, looking for allocation, wanting to talk about projects, some of which will be ready this year. Others maybe fall into the first or second quarter of next year, but it looks to be a really strong year. Next slide. The projects that we closed in 2025, there were 9 for a total of $54 million. And they sort of break down into those 4 categories, which is fairly typical for us. I mean, we seem to be doing more not-for-profits lately. And there's 4 or 5 of those, and it seems to be about a 50-50 split between not-for-profits and for-profits. But we're now in closing with another company, and we'll have that probably coming to the board next month. So 2026 looks to be a banner year. Excuse me. Shout out to Stephanie also for the Habitat for Humanity effort, which has been quite a long time in making, and it's going to be a very sort of impactful deal for North City and for our program. So we're looking to do more and more housing as we go forward. And that's it.
There is one more slide, Bill.
Well,
If
this
you
is
wanna-
just basically a wrap up of, the kinds of industries we're looking to do and, just kind of a signature piece. I will say, for the sake of brevity, that we can send a link out to the program book that the CDFI fund puts out when they announce awards. And it's quite lengthy, but it's informative. And I'll have Laura send a link out to the board so they can, have a sense of kind of the impact, both on an annual basis and to date for the program. So look for that in your email.
I think important to note is that last column that Bill was talking about. We are positioned to be able to do programs in those areas, but we are open to any good deal having a discussion. Okay, let's move on. Thanks, Bill.
Next, we have Marla Roach with Minority and Women Business Enterprise.
Good morning, board. I'm here to report on the 25 numbers for the end of the year. The amount of projects we closed in 2025 were 13, and the estimated cost of those 13 projects was $212,377,336. Of that amount, MBE awarded in contracts were $36,383,641. That equated to be about 17% of the contracts of contract spend. And for the WBE, the spend was $17,697,712. Of that is about 8% of the $200 million. We are still monitoring into after 2025. This year, at this time, 52 projects. Those projects are estimated to be at $1,870,919,431 in estimated costs. So we closed 13 projects. We have 52 that we're monitoring, and that number is going up. And that's what we're doing right now in compliance. The next slide. Our workforce hours was about a little under 1 million hours that was worked in 2025. And of that, 19% was minority hours, which equated to 160,000 of those hours. 6% was women, which was 46,000 hours of that. And then the apprentice was 22%, and as well as city residents at 5%. So our workforce, we have 2 ordinances in which we look at. And so the first one was the enterprise side, and this is the workforce side. These are the things that we continue to monitor in compliance going forward as we're working on new ordinances to adjust our program, and we're still working with the ordinances of Executive Order 91. That is compliance for 2025. Thank you.
Next, we have Nicole Dotson with the Northside Economic Empowerment Center.
I am Nicole Dotson with the Northside Economic Empowerment Center. The Northside Economic Empowerment Center came into fruition in 2022 under the leadership of Stacy Fowler. We just celebrated 3 years on January 9th, and we opened up at Sumner High School. As you know, the Northside Economic Empowerment Center is a strategic centralized center that focuses on business empowerment and capacity building for businesses that are struggling and that need those wraparound services to ensure that they not only get started, but they can remain sustained and be successful. With that being said, the Northside Economic Empowerment Center, it services all city businesses and all city residents the way that they need that support. And so with that, we in 2025 had a pretty good year. We were able to host our first pitch competition. We hosted it here in this boardroom because we were impacted by the tornado. The Northside Economic Empowerment Center actually started over at Sumner High School, as I mentioned, but once the tornado hit, we actually moved to the William J. Harrison Center where we reside, and we got there on July 1st. So we hosted our pitch competition, where we were able to work with 8 businesses. We had 4 judges, and we were actually able to give some amazing prizes for that. The first prize was $2,000 in cash, a $1,500 marketing stipend with Candid Marketing, HP laptop, excuse me, an HP laptop, and a 1-year subscription for a digital business platform. The next initiative, which we have been working with for the last 3 years, was I built that in partnership with the Construction Forum. And that's where we had the opportunity to host over 100 plus children. In the past, it was actually more, but when the tornado hit, we were unable to use Sumner High School Pavilion. We had to move it to a new location, and unfortunately, we lost some of the children that we would have usually hosted during that time. We hosted over 25 capacity building workshops. In the past, it's been more, but we had to move to virtual while we transition from one building to the next. So we had to go virtual, which kind of limited our entrepreneurs from coming into the actual building, but still they did join virtually. And as a result, we still was able to service over 301 businesses from January 2023 through December of 2025. We've serviced over 4,300 businesses and residents collectively. Thank you.
Next, we have Linux Lamb with certification numbers.
Good morning, Madam Chair. Morning, Board. My name is Lennox Lam, Certification Manager for the Certification Department at SLDC. This past year is significant because it marks the first full year that the Certification Department has been in-house in the St. Louis Development Corporation over the last 20 years. Much of the work this year was focused on reestablishing the department within the structures and expectation of SLDC. During this full year, the department processed 612 unique application events across 542 firms. The department is currently staffed by 3 people. Despite the 3 months operational pause, the performance remains strong. Workload continues to primarily be driven by renewals, which are 83%. New certification expansion makes up a smaller but complex share of the work. Next slide. From the decision standpoint, the department maintains a constant outgo. 96.1% of the firms are approved, 3.6% of the firms are withdrawn, and a few denial, appropriately concentrated in new applications and in expansions. Operationally, we saw significant gains. The median processing time now is 16 days for renewals, 103 for new applications, and 51 days for expansions. These improvements represent a significant reduction in the historical backlog that the department had with the size we're looking at and the transitional year. There are a few areas that requires continued attention. Application intakes declined by over 63% over the year, which needs to be looked at to figure out what's happening. In addition, the complex cases remain concentrated, which is working in the short term, but is not sustainable. Looking forward, a fully staffed certification department will be important if we want to further reduce processing time, distribute work evenly. At the same time, we're engaging in an ongoing rule and ordinance update to ensure that the program continues to serve the community it was created to support. The department is now stable and functioning well within SLDC, and the focus going forward is to strengthen the capacity, documentation, and long-term consistency. Thank you.
Okay, I have to thank you, Lance. Let me just say that there are things that we need to do in certification, and I want to acknowledge that. And there are some delays that we have that we are going to be using third-party consultants to help us with the backlog. And there's a focused attention on this one. So without further ado, we do have 3 people who are working, but they are understaffed and overworked, and we aren't doing we aren't moving at the pace that I want us to move at. So we're going to revamp that one and provide more support to that team. Okay.
Next, we have Steve Davis with Strategic Partnerships. Yeah.
No, the BAC. Oh,
Aretha's gonna come. I just talked to her.
okay, great.
All right. Good morning, Board of Directors.
Skip ahead a little bit.
Again, I'm Steve Davis, VP of Strategic Partnerships and Initiatives, and I want to start out by acknowledging that our team is growing. So what was once a mighty team of 2 is now 3. So in addition to Caress and myself, we have Howard Hayes on board as a business development specialist with a focus on downtown retention in light of all the recent news around downtown. This work requires somebody's full attention. And Howard has hit the ground running, working with our partners at GSL and other downtown stakeholders to conduct outreach to firms with large floor plates and leases that are coming up in the near future. So he's done a great job so far, and welcome, Howard. You can go ahead and skip to the next slide. So just give you a quick update here. So this is actually looking back about 6 months in projects that we have recently worked. So as you can see, deal flow this year compared to 2024 was a little slower. Zach and others have kind of highlighted why and how the market have dictated that. That being said, we've still been able to attract 32 million in capital investment to the city and create 161 quality jobs. Zach Folk mentioned the elevator project, which is the co-warehousing space located in Dogtown. We worked closely with GSL on that project through the site selection process and connected them with SLEDP. For those resources, we have CI Select, which I know Alderwoman Clark Hubbard and Sonia are intimately familiar with, as it just recently went through HUDs. Bringing a wholesale distributor of office furniture to the Cortex district, where we actually provided a unique incentive, leveraging the sales tax that they'll produce in order to help finance that project. Scale AI, another great project, creating 80 jobs here in downtown, moving into the Post building in the emerging Downtown North Innovation District. This is one of those projects that highlights how the geospatial ecosystem is growing here. Scale AI supports the NGA on their AI implementation. Par Health, this one kind of flew under the radar. Par Health is a spinoff of Mallinckrodt, located on the North Riverfront. They have 4,000 employees worldwide, but they decided that their world headquarters would be right here in St. Louis. So anytime we can add a World HQ to our Rolodex, we're proud to share that news. And then also worked with O-Rise Distribution, again, Mayor's Business Luncheon awardee on their project up by the VA hospital, where they are a medical supply distributor and looking at doing manufacturing as well. So overall deal flow is down a little bit, but we're still able to celebrate some wins this year. Go ahead, Celise. So now here's a snapshot of active projects, and what I mean by active projects. We have other deals identified, but these are the ones where either we have a proposal in the company's hand outlining what incentives that we are going to offer in order to win the project, and or they have directly applied to SLDC or LCRA for incentives. So as you can see, Project Charlie is an exciting opportunity. This would continue to shore up our strength in the bioscience industry here in St. Louis. I think what most excites me about this project is this potentially could be just a phase one with 2 more phases behind it, with relatively the same amount of CapEx and jobs created. So a huge opportunity. And Project Catalyst is kind of the same nature. Again, we're seeing a lot of interest from pharmaceutical manufacturers around the country, based on what's happened here in the Cortex Innovation District and other places in the region. And then Project Rojo and Project Shotgun, 2 other manufacturing projects that are kind of food-based manufacturing. Again, anytime we can help facilitate the creation of new quality jobs and investment in the city, we're happy to partner with them on those efforts. Next slide. A couple quick ecosystem updates. You may be familiar with the GeoFutures initiative that was launched in 2020. SLDC has been a partner on that initiative since its inception. We originally set out on that initiative to kind of plant St. Louis's flag in the geospatial ecosystem, as this is a place to be. If you're doing work with the NGA or you're in this industry, we have resources and the talent here in St. Louis to support that mission. Now, with the NGA being opened in October and employees actually moving onto the site, we spent the past 6 months doing a refresh of the GeoFuture strategy. It's actually rebranded as GeoSTL. Now really focused on economic development and attracting new industry and jobs to the city. Again, the NGA is now open. We've done that. Now it's time to figure out how we can attract more industry and develop around the NGA and further strengthen that ecosystem. So a lot of exciting work on that front. And then shout out to Curtis Griggs and the Project Connect team as well, who were involved in that process. And then on AMIC STL, the Advanced Manufacturing Innovation Center in the Vandevetter neighborhood is currently under construction through phase 1, which began in September. This is another exciting opportunity for the St. Louis region to attract industry here. We are currently working with our partners on a landscape analysis of what the a baseline landscape analysis of what the manufacturing ecosystem looks like here in St. Louis. So understanding the business climate, the talent pool, and things of that nature, so that when we go talk to firms about this project and why they should be in close proximity, we have a good argument to make to them. So, next slide. And I think the last thing I wanted to highlight was the Sports Attraction Fund. Again, this was a $500,000 investment through ARPA interest to help, in partnership with the Sports Commission, to help attract events to our city, as they're big economic development drivers for the city of St. Louis and particularly downtown. So as you can see, the Sports Attraction Fund was a key piece of the pitch made to the U.S. figure skating team to lure them here. There's an estimated $20 million impact. The eyes of the country were on St. Louis during this time for 5 straight days. If you were downtown at all or around this building while it was going on, the streets were packed with people. Restaurants were busy, and it was a great thing to see. Downtown really felt alive, and I just wanted to share this because I think it's an example of how we make strategic investments in things that we know work. They can have a huge impact on the city. So hopefully we get to do more things like this in the future. Next slide. And with that, I'll turn it over to our Director of Community Partnerships, Caressa.
Greetings, Caressa Davis, Director of Community Partnerships. I did prepare notes because I didn't want the Sandman to come get me and pull me down, so to keep me on track. In 2025, next slide. You'll see on the screen kind of a list of numbers and the various kind of sections that I work in. So in 2025, I worked with our internal teams to intentionally create a focused lane around consumer, retail, and restaurant business development, because that's where we've seen a lot of inquiry, a lot of the business that come to us looking for help through the Empowerment Center and others are looking for support in that small business retail space. And we don't have specific options all the time for that. So working with our internal teams to identify what really serves that community and packaging them in a way that we can serve them best. At the center of this work are the various partnerships we are able to leverage as force multipliers. Through the regional BRE under the St. Louis Economic Development Partnership, Steve, myself, and now Howard represent the city alongside our regional partners, allowing us to use that network as an extension of SLDC's offerings. The BRE launched a regional business survey, giving us over 500 responses that helped us clarify what businesses actually need to grow. We're using those insights to strengthen workforce connections, respond to emerging AI and industry shifts, and shape creative finance and incentive solutions that support both small businesses and critical infrastructure. With Greater St. Louis, Inc., Steve and I co-led round 2 of the Downtown Incentives Program to support targeted retail and restaurant activation aligned with corridor performance and long-term revenue goals. We also began establishing a more formal relationship with Supply STL to position it as a two-way referral pathway, so businesses don't lose momentum once they move beyond initial stabilization. So that I want to start a business group that we work with at the Empowerment Center, and don't kind of have a lag in between the I want to grow my business. Those that are looking for real estate, looking to be in a brick and mortar, and so on and so forth, and expand. To make this work scalable, I collaborated with the various teams, especially our neighborhood transformation managers, to design the neighborhood BRE framework. So taking that regional approach that we've been using to be proactive and get to the businesses before there is an issue, to hear them, listen to them, address any needs, and also identify opportunities. So we're able to address them before they're trying to leave, or maybe they expand outside of the city. We want to keep them in all of our wonderful 79 neighborhoods. Continuing our work to secure national support and exposure, I also worked with our internal teams and external partners to secure and am actively participating in the SCALE grant and national cohort. So alongside a bunch of like cities like New Orleans and Jackson, Mississippi. And our partners with that, we created a coalition here. It's Rankin and For the Ville to help us identify some opportunities for the Monarch and that redevelopment there. So the through line across all of this is identifying business needs early, designing the right response, and building systems that protect revenue while supporting long-term growth. And I also have to acknowledge that lastly, we entered a partnership with Collegiate High School to have an intern. They have a senior internship program, and we were able to secure an intern to come and be with us this semester. She starts a little later, so I didn't have her come here today, but she's wonderful in helping us identify what the future of St. Louis looks like from the teen and youth perspective. They're going to inherit this city. And we want to be able to help build something that they want to come back to after college, that they want to stay for once they graduate. And we're excited to have her on board. So thank you.
We have Lorna Alexander next with ARPA.
Good morning, directors. As you know, we have 12 ARPA programs funded. With the ARPA funds the city receives, the money flows through the City of St. Louis Community Development Administration. So we have at your approval 12 subrecipient agreements to administer programs and deploy the funds. So these are numbers from our programmatic reports that we report to CDA on a monthly basis. So I'm giving you the 2025 numbers from those reports and the total from the inception of the program, some of them which started in 22 and then 23 and 24. So the first program is the Monarch. The Kellark Electric program is only one unit. That building, though there are surrounding sites that we acquired as well, it's considered that one unit there that we're continuing to work with. We acquired the building and now it's under new design phases. The design is happening. Citywide housing, these are the 10 homes that were completed this year, were part of both the Tabernacle Hebert Homes Project and Habitat for Humanity scattered sites. Tabernacle completed 6, Habitat completed 4, with a total so far since 2023 of 24 completed homes, 18 by Tabernacle and 6 by Habitat. On our Home STL, Home Buyer Assistance Program, we assisted 5 home buyers in 2025. It slowed down. There aren't a lot of funds left in the program. The funds that are remaining are from home buyers of the above development for Tabernacle and Habitat. So 5 homes were closed this year for a total of 39. On the LRA beautification contract, Shelton will speak more to it. We monitor how many lawns are cut on a monthly basis. So we've reported in 2025, 10,178. Those are duplicated sites. And for a total between the last 2 years, 17,077 vacant lots were mowed or cleared. Next slide. Thank you. So on Scale Up and Mobilization, those are both our revolving loan funds. Scale Up with the St. Louis Community Credit Union for $2.5 million, and Mobilize that we finally got into contract with Rise as the fund manager for $1.5 million. We are a little bit ahead with Scale Up, and that 160 people completed the initial questionnaire survey we had online. We then sent all those folks a more detailed assessment form to complete. 28 have completed, so those 28 are going through the process with the credit union for credit worthiness and for us for grant eligibility. With Mobilize STL, I'm meeting with Rise at 11 o'clock today to discuss their program further and how we can get the funds out the door by September 30th. Digital equity, Simon spoke at length on his programs. And our reporting to CDA, again, we report on a monthly basis for all the programs, whether it's the learning labs, whatever else he's doing with the centers. So we've got 3,164 households that participated in his programs, some of them duplicated, and a total of 6,790 since its inception. The Northside Economic Empowerment Center, we fund some of their activities. Of the activities we fund, we're reporting 91 businesses were assisted in 2025 with a total of 556. Our small business grant program, that was our initial program, the $5,000 grants that was completed in 2023, where we provided $5,000 grants to 903 businesses. Our infamous Northside Small Business and Nonprofit Grant Program. In 2025, we provided grants to 163 businesses for a total of 474 businesses. So these are the smaller loans, the technical assistant, capacity building grants, the stabilization grants, and the operational expansion grants. On the LCRA proactive assemblage and development, Peter spoke on in 2025, we acquired 10 sites and 14 sites had pre-development activities for a total since inception of 12 acquisitions and 18 that received some pre-development activities. On the LRA proactive development, the 4 sites that were mentioned, particularly in this program, the Wellston Loop and Club Imperial. So there are 4 targeted buildings, and we've worked, whether it's engineering or structural assessments of those 4 units that we've assisted 4 of them. And I think that's it for me. And so just in closing, SLDC is beginning to meet on a bi-weekly basis with the city councilor's office and the SEMA team, who are now put in charge of ensuring that we get all the funds out the door September 30th, hopefully, but no later than December 31st. So we have our first meeting today. I'm excited about that. And we will meet on a bi-weekly basis. Thank you.
Next, we have Susan Taylor with the Port Authority.
Good morning. What you see on the screen is the yellow outline is the city's port district. It's the 10,000 acres along the river. We have about 40 leases with 5 letters of agreement. And about 10 years ago, all the rents were below market rate. They're now up to market rate. So our lease revenue has almost tripled. And last year, we started 2 new leases. One of them is sending its revenue to LCRA. We are a political subdivision of the state, I should mention. And so we answer to the state statute, and we have various ordinances. Next slide, please. Chief among our facilities is the Municipal River Terminal that you see there on the upper right, which is at the foot of North Market Street. We rebuilt that dock about 10, 15 years ago. And our current tenant, we lease out the operations, is it's Ingram, and they're in the middle of a huge rail expansion. So they're in the process of developing 2 unit trains that they can get through there. If Union Pacific merges with Norfolk Southern, that place is just going to be hopping because there are going to be a lot of transcontinental railroads now. And altogether, they're putting in about $22.4 million. There's another $7 million of federal funding to make that rail expansion happen. The picture in the lower left, the trains come in, they drop the soybeans out of the belly of the car, and then they get conveyored up over the flood wall and into the barge. So we have what's called a multimodal facility there, so we can do trains, barges, and trucks. Next slide, please. The other goal we have is to continue to develop new leases. And so at the moment, this one is in progress. And the picture in the upper left is of the city's South Refuse, which occupies a prime piece of riverfront. And the goal is to relocate that partially to a site next door. Some of the operations have already been relocated to a central location. There are all the mechanics from South Refuse and North Refuse. The consolidation idea was formed about 2 or 3 mayors ago, and North Refuse was eventually sold to Procter & Gamble, so they've happily expanded. We're glad that they were able to do that. And ultimately, this site will be cleared along the river and we'll develop a new lease there. Next slide, please. The other thing that we try to do is promote tourism and redevelopment in various areas. The picture in the upper right is Laclede's Landing. We worked extensively with the Coast Guard. They had a recruiting office out in a fluorescent strip mall. They had 15 feet of storefront. So now they have this facility in the Payne Court building in Laclede's Landing. It's open now. Send your recruits there. There's also a training center that's being built out as we speak. It should open in a building just a block away. And also the recruits are able to use local fitness centers. A lot of recruits are not fit, and so their Coast Guard was quite happy to have them have that option. The couple other things we're working on the actual levee in front of the arch. The picture in the lower right is the so-called porte cochere, and it used to be the entrance pavilion to originally the Admiral and then the President Casino, and we'd like to get that back into business of some sort, and we've tried different things. So hopefully next year we'll be able to say that we've got something going there. And then the picture in the lower left is a potential. We have local cruise boats and we have visiting cruise boats. The local cruise boats moor there year round, and they have, even in the winter, things like Christmas tours. And we get larger vessels like Viking and some of the American Cruise Line boats. So what we'd like to do is develop one dock for all of them so that we could have different people come together and have that one gathering spot and maybe have a cafe. And so that's also in the works. Hopefully a year from now, I can tell you more about that. That's it. Thank you.
Next, we have Shelton Anderson with LRA.
Good morning, Board of Directors. Shelton Anderson, Vice President of Real Estate and Director of LRA. So as we look at the slide here, the most notable points that we want to call out is under the category of the LRA inventory and sales. So as you see, despite the unfortunate May 16th tornado, we were able to sell 400 properties this year. To give that into context, we have actually sold in 2025 more properties that we have, which brings the inventory down to the lowest amount that it has actually been over the last 8 years. We did receive 267 properties via the tax sale. Those are ones that certainly are pending confirmation, but those will be brought into the inventory in 2026. Under the category of stabilization and demolition, we have sold 39 properties in 2025. That is also more than the prior year in the trailing history under the Prop and S program. We're also excited that even though we're reporting this now, a lot of the work in regards to revamping and adding to the Prop and S program by way of funding is that we this week received approval from the Board of Aldermen to proceed with increasing the funding caps for the Prop and S program, specifically for properties that are up to 1,500 square feet, will receive up to $50,000 of stabilization. Those that are up to 2,500 square feet will receive up to $65,000 in stabilization, and those that are over 2,500 square feet will receive up to $80,000 for stabilization. So we're very excited about, again, being able to.
Let me stop just a moment. That's to correct. We only received approval from the HUD's committee, so we haven't gotten the full Board of Aldermen's approval. So, but it's a great step.
That is correct, and thanks for that point of clarification, Otis. Okay. And to wrap up under the stabilization and demolition, we have demolished 124 properties in 2025. We've got another slide to wrap up what we look and forecasting for 2026. Under the category of beautification and Green City Coalition, we've maintained over 2,100 lots in 2025. As Lorna mentioned, the numbers is that we've cleared roughly 10,000 or done roughly 10,000 cuts in 2025, and roughly 17,000 cuts overall since the program was launched in 2024. As Mike mentioned earlier, we've had success in Green City Coalition. We've managed over 71 acres of land. Specifically, we want to call out 20 acres of that is community green space that we're excited about, that we've made enhancements and really getting those blighted properties into productive use. That is a 20% increase from our prior year. And then under the category of housing production, as we know, we received approval from the SLDC board last month to proceed with awarding our modular home developer that will develop modular housing in the Ville and Greaterville. With that, also the work that Bill Sutton has done, our new market tax credit guru, we will be able to relocate a company into North St. Louis to begin the first of housing production and having that facility in our city. Next. Very quickly, the only call outs I'll make here, as you see in the graph, we started the 2018 year with roughly 10,700 properties, almost 11,000. As you'll see in the far right bottom corner, with the sales that LRA put forth in 2025, which were 400, we ended the year with 9,532 properties. And then the other call out is within the Prop N stabilization program. As you'll note, we have successfully completed the stabilization of 188 properties in the program, sold 119 overall, and we've also sold 39 specifically in 2025. Next. To wrap up, we wanted to just give a visual. Numbers definitely speak volumes, but it's different when you see that in a mapping format. But this is to show all of the properties that we have actually completed demolition since the program has launched in 2024, as well as those that are currently scheduled. So as you see, we're making a substantial impact by way of demolition in North St. Louis, and also those properties that we have in the South St. Louis area. But the last two key points we want to call out is that we have obligated nearly $8 million in contracts for the program. And so we look forward to finalizing the obligations in the coming month, drawing down the funds that remain in the demolition program. And our goal is to arrive at up to 500 structures that we seek to have demolished before the program ends at the end of this year. Thank you.
Next, we have Dylan and Laura again online to talk about tornado recovery. I think Dylan's going to talk in person, and Laura, if you want to add anything, feel free to speak.
Good morning. I feel like every time I come up here, I talk about something different, so it's kind of cool, but good to see you guys. Dylan Holliam, I serve as the housing strategist here along with Laura Ginn, and we have been supporting the tornado effort. So what you see on the screen here is just brief data, overview data of what we've done. Initially, after the May 16th tornado, the SLDC staff team, multiple staff, were in the EOC on boots on the ground, assisting with standing up programs, standing up opportunities, standing up efforts to clean up, to clear, to provide help or safety. But once the mayor set up the Office of Recovery, 3 of those 5 task forces were being stood up by individuals who represented SLDC. So the purpose I want to share is how SLDC and staff team are supporting in a major way tornado efforts in more ways than one. You can go to the next slide. Just to start, one of the things led by Laura, who's leading our debris and demolition task force, one of the biggest things has been working with FEMA, working with some of the compliance issues and how we can move money out the door quickly, but also provide support and mitigate some of those gaps that are out there in the communities from the tornado. And one of the big efforts that Laura has stood up out of the debris and demolition task force has been our hazardous tree removal and our inspection of hazardous materials on sites. This work is so huge because this precedes just about everything else that needs to happen, right? Whether it be home repair, inspections, other clearing, we need to test the sites. We need to make sure access is safe. And so because of that, Laura and our task force, the recovery office, has set up multiple contracts to deal with some of the hazardous material that are out in the communities, but also working with some of our local contractors and procured contractors around inspecting some of these sites so we can actually get an understanding of what needs to happen going forward. Next slide, please. And the reason I say that work precedes everything else is because as we do property assessments, we need to get an understanding of how much money we're going to need or how much effort it's going to take to clean or to repair or to clear and do all of this work. So in addition to the inspection and hazardous site assessments, we are procuring property assessments, right? We have stood up our private property assistance portal by which individuals who have been impacted by the tornado can get assistance for debris removal, home repair, stabilization, electricity repair, and others. And so as long as our residents are captured in this portal, they will be in the pipeline for support and for assistance. And I do want to note that the deadline to apply for this is February 14th, just so we can codify all of the data points and all of the cost factors that are needed. And so in addition to that, we've stood up in the LRA FEMA assistance, right? These essentially are site assessments to scope and contract the FEMA eligible demolition and debris removal efforts. And so, as I said earlier, working with FEMA has been difficult because of the scale down and because we're trying to learn a lot. And with that, there's a lot of hoops and things that we have to jump through in order to understand what it will take and what we actually really need to do. And because of that, there are certain things that money can go to and they can't go to. And so with that, again, our site assessments include building inspections, arborists, debris technicians, asbestos abatement, lead abatement, mold remediation, and these contracts have been procured by SLS and Tetra Tech to help stand up this work, whether it be the actual action or the data and things in the background. Next slide. In addition to this, in addition to Laura and the debris and demolition piece, we've also been a part of the home stabilization and repair efforts. What this essentially, we've stood up 2 programs out of this line of effort. The first program is the emergency stabilization that Kwame leads. Essentially, this is tarping and boarding of homes, essentially keeping homes watertight so that no further dilapidation occurs on these properties pending rain or winter storms or things like that. Just want to make sure these properties can be contained and can be secured. In addition to that, we've hired a national firm to assist and bolster our home repair efforts. We've procured SLS out of Texas, who will be procuring local contractors who are ready and willing to help do this work. They will manage them and they will go out and do this work. They will be on site in 10 homes this week, and the goal is to scale up to 40 a week once we can kind of clean up some of the standing up of the program. I'd be remiss to say that in this home stabilization and repair efforts, it also includes intermediate housing efforts. Those intermediate housing efforts include non-congregate shelters, congregate shelters. It also includes rental assistance. And so we've also stood up a rental assistance program in partnership with Forward and in partnership with Arch by Home Screen with the Tower Grove CDC to help have a repository for these private landlord units. And so that if an individual is applying for rental assistance, we can immediately navigate them with housing assistance and housing from our pipeline and from local vendors who want to support tornado impacted residents. And so that has been launched with a cap of around anywhere from 200 to 500 people. And we are extending the scope to support more individuals, more residents. Next slide. And then lastly, of course, with the repair and the stabilization efforts, that also comes with the demolition and debris removal, right? As we are assessing homes, these homes will be, some homes will be designated as go or no go, right? And so we will have to make difficult decisions. And so with that, with our task force. Essentially, additionally, we've stood up emergency demolitions and compassionate demolitions, and also FEMA-funded demolitions that work with certain properties. And so you'll see some of the contracts that we have here, but this is also in partnership with some of our city departments. But again, this work is ongoing, and we are continuing to scale up and bolster our work to be a little bit better as we enter into the 1-year anniversary. And I think there's one more. No, that's it. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I get the question. No, I just joking.
You said that the deadline was February 14th. Could you speak to any of the outreach efforts or things that are going to go on to let residents know in the crunch time here that deadline is approaching?
Yeah. So we've done a few things, right? We've our community health workers and IHN have been going door to door, knocking from our listservs and engaging with individuals who are staying in their damaged dwelling units. And these individuals may not want to leave their homes for whatever reason. And so what we want to do is we want to meet them where they are and outreach to them through Tetra Tech, who will be calling those individuals who don't want to leave and offering them support and resources, whether it be relocating or whether it be rental assistance temporarily. And so that's one effort. Additionally, Tetra Tech is also conducting outreach in tandem with our IHN partners around rental assistance for people to get in the fold. And then additionally, we are just continuing to reach out to our FEMA data, the people who are registered with the FEMA data. Essentially, we are everybody who has put in an application for individual assistance or whatever type of assistance. We are actually calling them and emailing them and making sure that they apply. So one of the biggest things is we can't serve anybody unless they do get into this portal, because if they don't get into this portal, we just don't see them. And so what we're doing is we're cleaning up all of the efforts that we've stood up in the past and making sure that there aren't any unmet needs and any caps, and conducting outreach to those individuals. And so we are trying to hit everybody that we can. As of right now, I think there's around a little over 200 individuals who have received or applied for rental assistance. As that number is going up, and I think we'll probably hit a cap probably here soon, just because that number is going up a lot because of that outreach.
Thank you.
So let me cap this one by just saying that SLDC from the very outset, following the tornado, provided a lot of resources, and we are continuing to, led by 100% of the time for Dylan and for Laura. It's a portion of the time for Peter Phillips, and 100% of the time of Russell Halliday. So our efforts are still impactful in the overall city recovery.
Thank you. Sorry, you might not have this now, but I know one of the things that we discussed at the board at budget is I had asked for a list of the emergency demos. I think we were talking about, like, obviously, there were some issues in the beginning, but the number of properties that were at risk for collapse, we were just really interested in that data and which properties were in the pipeline for demolition. You might not have the information now, but something to follow up on.
I think actually,
Can I jump in? Okay, great. Hi, good morning, guys. Laura again. I'm sorry I couldn't make it in person, but great job, Dylan. I'm excited about the next Board of Aldermen meeting next Wednesday evening, Budget Committee. I think we have a really great presentation coming together to provide an update on those numbers across the board. I can say there are 29 in the pipeline right now for emergency demolition, 12 of those complete, another 19 contracted, and several more going out to bid this week, and we can provide a broader view at your next board meeting.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you very much. And I think the last one here is set the pace, but I'm going to ask Josh, can you got a number of slides here, so just brief through that, and then I see Aretha walked in the door. Okay, so.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Okay.
So Lise will do Aretha after Josh.
And that will be it.
Great, thank you. Just real quick, Josh Campbell, Executive Director, Missouri Energy Initiative, Administrator for Set the Pace St. Louis. Number of slides that I'm just going to go through quickly. One, we received 5 interest forms. If you want to go to the next slide, 2 of those were supposed to close in the end of the year, but did not. They're looking to close this month in the next week, actually. So we've got a $3 million project and a $20 million project that will go on. And our pipeline is about a half a dozen to 10 different projects as well of interest. Next slide. Overall in the program, just to give you a quick snapshot, if you're unaware, Set the Pace has done 19 programs or 19 projects with $111 PACE lending, 480 in economic impact, 7 million last year. Next slide. Key things here is that the state law does require an economic benefit for the property owner. So you saw back there that there was $111 million worth of PACE financing that converted into $163 million in economic benefit just to that property owner. So cost savings, which can be found here with electricity savings, as well as operation savings, job savings at 2,600 and a CO2 of 403,000. Next slide. Just really quickly, what I want to point out here is you see it's not all renewables. It is vastly majority is making a building easier to operate, more efficient to operate. That's what PACE is about, and that's what we see the projects using. Next slide. Again, only less than 20% are new builds. So it is retrofits, making properties more efficient. Next slide. A big question is who's using it? Well, in the city of St. Louis, hospitality is the major user, with mixed use and multifamily coming in next. And that is actually common across the state as well. This is not disproportionate just to the city of St. Louis. Last slide. These are the project names that you've seen. And some of these names have been mentioned above, and a couple of the projects mentioned earlier in your presentations today are also going to receive or participating in the PACE program. I know you're short on time. Happy to answer questions offline, and do appreciate the opportunity to talk with you and work with you, and looking forward to a great 2026.
Thank you. So Aretha? Just want to give her an opportunity because Aretha is the front door to City Hall for St. Louis Development Corporation and the city's business. Aretha?
Good morning. Apologize, and I appreciate you guys pivoting to get me last on the list. I'm still at City Hall for whatever reason. But I took the liberty to list all of the events that we do on a yearly basis throughout the year. Anytime that we are asked or invited to come and either present, meaning speak about the services that the BAC offer, or table, meaning provide resources and literature to constituents who wants to know about the things that the BAC do and the requirements that the city want a business to have to be a legitimate establishment. So we had the youth program. I partnered with Gilberto from the mayor's office to speak to the International Institute, the Afghan community, the African community. We attended networking events for Amarin. Lots of events throughout the year, anytime that we are asked to. Next slide, please.
Next slide.
In addition to the community events, we also host a monthly BAC series where we focus on the specific business type and provide information on what the city requires to open that particular establishment within the city limits. The picture that's shown there is when we were at the Black Wall Street event. We table at the event every year, along with the May Day Parade. We table at that event every year. I make it if I can't delegate it to a staff member of mine, then I attend it myself. Next slide, please. The employees at the Business Assistance Center take pride in the work we do. We diligently assist business owners in obtaining all of their necessary requirements that the city require them to have to legally operate in the city. We welcome invitations to present or speak about our services with any organization that we are asked to do. Over the last 3 years, we have assisted about over 1,700 clients, with 1,274 of those companies successfully obtaining their business license, and over 1,200 of those were actually new businesses to the city. Next slide, please. I took the liberty to break down those numbers for year by year. As you can see, the numbers increase within from 23, 24 to 25. But I took the also liberty to note that these numbers only represent the clients that chose to utilize our services, because not all businesses are required to do so. We are here as a free service to any business owner or resident who want to utilize them, but they're not all required to. Slide, please.
Like, next slide, please.
Is that it?
Okay. All right.
That's it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay, so I want to end this presentation by just saying thank you to staff for putting it together. And I know I rushed you through it, and I want to thank the board for sitting through, listening to it. But I wanted you to know the kind of work that staff is doing throughout the year, and that we touch a wide range of activities throughout the year. And the efforts here will provide, if you will, additions to capital stacks that make projects work. And so it's either through PACE or through Zach's team or through our loans or through our bonds or just coordination. So we are here to be that facilitator of that. So I wanted to just thank you all for that and giving us that opportunity. And I'm going to leave an applause for the staff.
Thank you very much. That was a remarkable presentation and really just the key highlights for 2025. Thank you. Thank you all for the work and for sharing what you're doing with us. At this time, I'd like to entertain a motion to move into executive session pursuant to sections 610.021 subsections 1, 3, 12, or 13. RSMO. Do you want me to say more than that, James?
No, I would just say it's and 13 instead of or 13.
Pardon?
It's subject to all of these subsections. So the
Yes.
motion will be pursuant to subsection 1, 2, 3,
021.
1, 3, 12, and 13.
Thank you.
So moved.
Second.
Alderwoman Clark Hubbard.
Aye.
Director Gilbert.
Aye.
Director Koenig.
Aye.
Alderwoman Saunier.
Aye.
Director Spencer.
Aye.
Director Young.
Aye.
And Chair Halls.
Aye.
Arnold is here. Excuse me. Staff, we need everyone to clear. Thanks.
We're going into a different room for the executive session.
Are we?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that was
All
the
right.
plan.
Did you call?
You didn't call Arnold.
Oh, I'm sorry. And Director Arnold.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Welcome back to the open session of our regular board meeting. Roll call and motion to adjourn.
Director Arnold.
President.
Alderwoman Clark Hubbard.
Here.
Director Gilbert.
Here.
Director Koenig.
Present.
Alderwoman Sonia.
Present.
Director Spencer.
Present.
Director Young.
Present.
And Chair Halls.
Present.
And before the motion to adjourn, can I just mention that services for Stacy, the details and others the information will be on our website, but it is currently scheduled for January 30th at Friendly Temple at 11 o'clock in the morning, in case there are those that would like to attend.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
So moved.
Second.
We are adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Perfect.